Hey, happy Friday, everybody. It's Friday.
Friday.
I'm excited. You know, I was sitting here with Bee and noticing how pretty she was. You know, sitting here, and I have to compliment her before we get started tonight, and that I'm super excited that she is pinching pennies and saving me money because she's not even buying combs. Can you guys tell? Look at that. High five.
Come on. Oh, come on. No.
All right, sorry.
It's clean. I just washed it. That don't stink.
Thank you for saving me.
I'm not buying makeup anymore. I'm saving you all kinds of money.
Hippocrates Gardens in the house. Hello, Instigator. Big Kid, how are you? I think they're making fun of me for my thumbnail of the nuclear explosion, but there's a point to it, I think. I hope maybe to get to that. Vicky Pullen, happy Friday to you. Starla Dope, good evening. The greatest name on the internet.
Half bubble off plum.
Yep. Eagle Lover, Texas, good evening to you. My buddy Gypsy's in the house. You see here.
Hello. Hey. Thank you for dinner.
Oh, yeah, that was super nice. Midwest Ribeye, good evening to you. Banquet of Consequences. Hello, happy Friday. One More Rock, Dana Green. ACM, what's up, buddy? Songs of Joy. Hello. Indiana Mike, hello, ahoy.
Ahoy.
City Greens, Carrie Davis, Will Be Cool. Janine Minky, hello. Minky? Minky or Minky? Probably Minky, right? Hilltop Home Place, hello. Hilltop Home Place says they're listening while they're painting a picture. That's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, her Save the Turkey Carcasses came across. Did you see that? I think it was from Thanksgiving, and oh my gosh. So I couldn't find my phone, and that was going off in my headphones for like at least 15 minutes. And by the time it was over, I'm still going, Save the Turkey Carcasses.
Gotta love that, huh? Let me see. Hey, Nitos, good evening to you. The famous LJC is in the house. Dave and Sonia in Michigan, how are you? Kelly Ireland, hello. Tom Shivel, hello. Rhonda Benefield, good evening to you. Drummondson Live, Mary Michelle. See, Grateful Heart Ranch and Easy, you're in the house. I think I'm about to the bottom. All right, rock on. Well, good evening, everybody, and happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yep. What you got going on?
Besides
not combing your hair.
So, I don't really comb my hair anymore. I guess that's
clearly.
It's like kind of flat right there.
You got a flat forehead.
I'm okay. Yeah, thank God for Pippin. She gave me some mascara.
How cool is that?
She's like, here, use this.
Hey, Jane's in the house. Good evening, RNs. And Lisa from Wichita is in the house. Well, hello, Lisa from Wichita.
That's not too far from us.
Parkerty says it's time for Viking braids. Yeah. Terminator, good evening to you.
Then I wouldn't even have to wash them, right?
Yeah, right.
They don't.
One less thing, right?
How long?
One less thing.
How long can you go without washing those babies?
Oh my goodness. Hey, Silver Linings in the house. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Gypsy says, B, Louise and I like the natural look.
Thank you.
I got a question though. So if you're not combing your hair with a comb and, not wearing lots of makeup and all of those things, what's all the shit all over the countertop?
Which countertop?
Any of them.
Well, this is all your stuff here, buddy. This one notebook is mine.
Oh my goodness.
Everything else is yours.
Hey, Hold My Beer is in the house. Hey, and Chuck from Homestead Medical. Chuck, we're up to 13, but I'm getting to 20. I'm going to get there, buddy. I'm going to get there. David Strom, good evening to you. Yeah, well, David says you're looking fabulous.
Says both of us are.
Mm-hmm. To make you feel better? I still don't think you combed your hair, but.
I didn't.
That's okay. All right, what you got?
I don't know what. So Gypsy brought us dinner.
Thank you, Gypsy.
When they brought me some pumpkins. They had found some pumpkins that were volunteer on their property, and they brought them and gifted them to me. And I stuck them on the fireplace in the living room for months. And then I got around to cooking them. So I cooked them up, made a video for you to edit.
Okay.
I know you'll love that. All 9 hours of it. And then I made pumpkin cookies.
Kinda. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I made pumpkin cookies, but I used honey and maple syrup and then flour and oatmeal. And some of them I put silver linings ungranola in.
Mm-hmm.
And then some I put some nuts in. Some were plain.
Mm-hmm.
And the plain ones, if you stuck Cool Whip on top of them, I thought they tasted like a pumpkin pie. Kind of.
No.
Kind of.
It didn't taste like a cookie, nor did they taste like pumpkin pie.
They would have if we didn't have anything else. Because it was all stuff that, it was eggs from here. The flour wasn't from here. And the maple syrup we were gifted. You were gifted. That was the stuff that I found in your toiletry bag.
Yeah, it was good.
So,
but it was not a cookie. And it was not pumpkin pie.
Okay, so half of the pumpkins were like, I don't know how big is that. There were 3 of them. I got cookies, and then the rest of it I have. I'm going to make bread with tomorrow.
Karen wants to know, is it her eyes or are we blurry? Well, on my end, it's not blurry, but I'd love to hear it if we were blurry. Not that there's anything I could do about it being blurry, but.
Yeah, so that's one thing too. We are in the process of upgrading our routers. So I had to do a whole factory reset on what we have here, and we have another set coming.
And of course, it happens 15 minutes before I'm supposed to be in a meeting. Like it always does, right?
And then it's, what are you doing? Stop what you're doing and help fix it.
Yeah, some things just have to be like that. Hold my beer, thank you very much.
So we're gonna have to upgrade, or I don't know. Apparently, routers go bad.
Apparently,
you have to replace them.
Yeah, we're getting all clear. So Karen, it might be you, boss. No. Hey, Bonnie. Good evening to you. Oh, get out of that one. Okay.
I hauled in wood
mm-hmm.
last Sunday,
mm-hmm.
and then it's been chilly enough that I've had a fire every day this week. So I will be hauling in more wood probably tomorrow.
Yep.
Well, sometime this weekend I'm going to have to get it done because we have a cold spell coming again, right? So it is that time of the year. We get wood cooking videos, but then I'm also hauling in wood twice a week. Not twice a week. It wasn't full when I hauled it in on Sunday. We had 1 crate sitting out there, which you say is half a cord?
About a half cord.
About a half a cord. And I hauled that in, and that's what I am going through now. So how much would you say is out there? How much can I hold back there? 2 cords then?
On your porch?
Yeah. A cord and a half.
Cord and a half, probably. Probably something like that. But I mean, the thing is, we run it 24 hours a day because you're cooking on it and you're doing all the other things, so it takes a lot more than if we were just heating, right? If we were heating, you wouldn't use, anywhere.
I don't know, because I'm cooking while we're heating, right?
Yeah, but you wouldn't be the same.
I know. Well, right now it's 94 in the kitchen, and I'm letting the fire go out because here lately at night you have been opening the windows upstairs because you think it's too hot.
Mm-hmm.
And
you get covers.
And you go, I can't believe you're putting covers on. And then 3 windows in one room are open, so it's pretty breezy in there. Pretty drafty. Hey,
Rhonda, good evening to you. And Dorothy, good evening to you. Aljo, what's going on? Helen, hello. And Gregory, hello. Hey, RN says, don't forget to smash that like button. Thank you very much.
Hey, Starla. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yep.
Let's see how many we can get.
Yep.
Something else that happened on Sunday night. I ran up the stairs to grab. I think I was looking for a flashlight. So I had done all the chores. I went out to feed the dogs, and the one dog was in the house. And then I saw 2 when it's dark and you have the flashlight on, you're facing it out in the dark. You see the eyes of the dogs coming towards you, and there were 3 sets coming towards me, and I'm like, oh no, 1, 2, 3, that's not right, because I have a dog inside. So there was another dog out there that was with my dogs, so I'm assuming it was the neighbor dog that comes over when there's a coyote in the area. The neighbor dog tracks it for a certain amount of distance. I don't know what that is, but when there's a coyote, the neighbor dogs are over. So I'm assuming that's what it was. But I ran upstairs to grab a flashlight, and you remember what you said last Sunday? You said, "Oh my God, what is that smell?"
Oh yeah, that was bad.
I was like, yeah, the dogs just got sprayed by a skunk. So, and then in the face. As soon as I walked up to her, my legs are standing there, and she takes her face and puts it right between my calves and rubs her face on my pants. And so,
and then where did you go right after that happened? I went
right upstairs to grab my flashlight right upstairs to you. And then you're like, "Oh my gosh, oh, what is that?" And I'm like, "A skunk. We just got sprayed by a skunk. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. There's 3 dogs outside."
We didn't get sprayed by a skunk.
Well, the dogs got sprayed by a skunk, but now I have skunk on me. So, that smell is like none other. I mean, like fresh right out of smells like burning skunk is what it smells like. And so, my sweatpants now smell like burning skunk, and I have not done laundry, so they're tucked in the laundry room.
Yeah, that was fun. I don't know what possessed you to walk upstairs into our bedroom covered in that stuff. You clearly didn't think.
It wasn't. I wasn't like, "Hey, look, I'm going to go share." It was like, I'm looking for one particular flashlight, and I know I had it in my pocket of the pants that I had last night. So I ran upstairs to get that one flashlight.
So you didn't consider whether or not you were going to sneak?
Nope, didn't consider anything except for like what is out there.
Kind of like combing your hair?
Who I didn't consider that either. I just thought, hey, like it's washed. I just got out of the shower, and I'm like, oh, look. Okay, done. Let's go. I'm clean. Nope. But we live here. I have not looked in the mirror in like forever.
Clearly. Hey, Helen says they had a water outage in their area with no notice. We're actually going to talk about this a little bit tonight. I've been doing a lot of reading about why civilizations collapse, and so I've read about many of them, and I'm continuing to. I'm kind of a lifelong learner, and when she comes in and I'm working on something, you guys know I hang a TV on the wall. Well, most of the time, the reason I do that, I do that though, is because I listen to things like today. I was listening to the history of how the Grand Canyon was made, for example, which most people would probably find that stuff boring. But anyway, Helen, I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit.
I'm glad that you know how the Grand Canyon was made.
Well, it's just interesting to me. Ghetto says, you got to earn my likes, start dancing or juggling or something. Well, if you don't watch out, Ghetto, what's going to happen? I'm going to break out my mad nunchucking skills.
You don't want to see it.
Terminator says, try making some pumpkin butter. Hold My Beer says, so Tag wasn't actually cold when he opened all those windows? Yeah, this is a great point. Hold My Beer, this is a fabulous point.
Where you weren't cold. You were like laying on top of the covers.
Mm-hmm. That's the point.
But
I don't open it to torture you. I open it because I'm hot.
Yeah, well, that tells me that I probably shouldn't throw any more wood in the fire. I mean,
that's right. David said I'd be tempted to toss those sweats. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Nito says her dog has been sprayed so many times. After she chases it off, she will come in and go straight to the tub and wait for her bath.
That's good. No, I didn't even want. They don't come inside.
Gregory said I found that soaking my clothes in
Fabuloso.
Take the skunk, that it works well. You know what I think works the best specifically for washing the dog is hydrogen peroxide and Dawn dishwashing soap.
And wasn't it baking soda?
I don't think by baking soda, maybe.
I thought it was something. It was a third ingredient to that.
Mm-hmm. Finger Lakes, upstate New York, where I am, where the water outages. Hey, Skanes girls in the house. Tag probably had mad hacky sack skills. I had mad hacky sack skills.
Yeah, he even owned one when we met.
Yeah, and I actually, when I go down to the factory, sometimes I'll play hacky sack with the employees to this day. I do. It's funny. You should see me out there in a suit and tie playing hacky sack with the employees.
Oh my gosh.
It's awesome, right? I think. Starla says, sitting here with table in front of me, starting red Creole onion. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Skanes Girl says, B, not sure if I combed my hair today or not either. Been running on caffeine and a handful of Cheez-Its off mom's plate. Isn't that so how it is sometimes? Yes. That is so how it is sometimes. You're just...
I'm like, hey, you want me to make you a sandwich as you grab an Oreo and run out the door? Nope, mm-hmm. I'm good.
Yep.
Look.
Go ahead, say it. Smart one.
I was gonna say, let me make you a sandwich.
Oh yeah. Okay, since she brought this up, everybody. Yes. So she says, on my way out the door, let me make you a sandwich. And I said, okay, that's fine. And usually I'm pretty easy, right? Most of the time. I'm fine. I'll grab a couple of Oreos or whatever it is, and I'm out the door and I'm working it. I'm perfectly fine. So it gets, B's got an oil change today. And so she runs in pod 4. And I'm in pod 4 working on the bathroom. And she runs in with 2 sandwiches, one in each hand.
Yep.
Right? No plate, no nothing. Just two sandwiches. And she says, well, I tried to make you a sandwich. And I looked at it. It was so hard. And you can ask her. I looked right at her and I said, I really love crackers. Crackers are awesome. Man, I don't know how you'd manage to dehydrate that bread like that, but it was like, it wasn't burnt so much as it was
wasn't burnt.
It wasn't burnt. It was
the hardest. The hardest sandwich I've ever seen.
What did you do? Put it in and just forget about it?
In there for like 4 hours. And it was like petrified wood.
You know, I love my wife. She's an amazing creature, but she is the best at getting lost into something. And there'll be times where she'll say, okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get you some coffee. And I'm like, cool. And 4 hours later, I haven't seen her yet. You know, because she gets occupied into other things. But
yeah.
Anyway.
There are other things to do.
Yeah, the sandwich was fabulous.
It was so bad.
Now, it became better when I took one of the 2 crackers off.
Well, when I saw you do that, I was like, hey, that's a good idea, because at first I thought that I was only going to eat the meat on the inside, because there was the outside, I did not think I was going to be able to bite through it.
Good thing you're a birdie. Terminator says, B, you look beautiful no matter what your hair is. Yep. Nito says quart of peroxide, 2 tablespoons of Dawn, 1 cup baking soda, mix and scrub. Yeah, that does work great. I didn't remember we did put baking soda because it's been a while. But.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the last time that happened, it was even worse, because she came at us like throwing up. She'd gotten sprayed like right in her. I mean, it was still yellow on her face.
So yummy.
It was awful.
Yeah. Hey Zeus, good evening to you. RN says, tag, y'all need to try freeze-dried sandwich bread. Crunchy.
Oh.
Why don't I just go buy croutons?
I don't think they're hard like that.
Maybe you don't think
they are? Maybe
I would think they were. You're taking all the
moisture out.
I would think. Yeah, poor dog. Yeah, and they got it right in the face. Anyway. All right, so
and I grabbed the towel that was hanging off the back deck and started rubbing her face up, because you could tell that she was trying to like get some kind of relief, rubbing her nose just all over the bottoms of my pants, trying to like help. And it smelled so bad. I knew she needed help. So I just grabbed that towel and just started to wipe her face off, and then, moved the towel and wipe it, and moved and wiped. So I tried to
you stunk.
Oh, it was so bad.
Yeah. Hey, Squatchy. What's up, buddy?
Yeah. Well, the neighbor had sent me a message and said, what's going on with your cows? They're mooing. And so that's what took me out there, was because I was like, oh no, what's going on? Because they don't just, make a bunch of noise at night. And so I ran over there, but I threw on all my gear and ran over there in the dark. And when I was coming back was when I saw the eyes kind of like chasing after me. And that was like, get to the house. So, the cows ended up not being our cows. It was the cows across on the like total opposite side of us. But our cows were just in the barn. I mean, I ran over there and they kind of just looked at me like, "What are you doing here?" But at nighttime, the sound carries quite a distance, so it sounded like they were just right here, but it was not my cows. But unfortunately, it was my skunk issue I had to deal with. So it was an eventful night.
Yeah. My turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my turn. Okay. What else? So I had a very interesting thing happen to me on YouTube.
Okay.
I didn't even tell you this.
No,
you don't know this yet, but so someone who had been a subscriber to our channel and apparently had left because I made him mad, and then apparently had come back because maybe there was growth in me or whatever. I don't know, but anyway, him and I got into this conversation about illegal immigration. And, I love honest, open debate. I always have. And, he made the point to me that there should be no borders, that there's no human being has any more right to own the land than anybody else. That it should be complete open borders. There shouldn't be anyone. And so then I started questioning him a little bit about, it's like, well, what about personal property? I've worked very, very hard in my life. And although we all have the same value, we're not all equal. And if I'm willing to go work, right, 7 days a week for 30 years so that I can have what I want, should I then not have, that personal property? Anyway, so we debated back and forth. I thought it was a good, interesting conversation. And maybe I'm not far enough along in my evolution, in my personal growth to understand his point, because I still stand on the same point that personal property is something you work hard for. It's something that it's yours and you should be able to keep it. And the state's really one of their only real jobs should be maintaining personal property, in my opinion, right? That it is, and defending that personal property, right?
So is he saying that you should not have
nobody
should have personal property?
No, what he did then is he got on another channel that I did an interview with, and in the comments made a bunch of comments about how Tag's a statist and that I don't understand and all of these things. And so the only reason I even bring this up, it's not a big deal. It's fine. And the guy that, I'm not going to mention him, but the guy that was talking about it's actually a really, really nice guy. Him and I just differ in some of our core beliefs. But the reason I bring this up is to say that if our only version of the world or the way things come, if we're going to allow those views to stand between relationships, right? If we're going to allow those views to say, okay, you're no longer worth my time because you don't believe as I do, I think we're setting ourselves up for huge failure.
Oh, geez.
And what we should be doing is being able to encourage people. And I'm going to use the Christianity thing a lot because you guys know how I feel about it. And, I struggle with my faith and all of these things, but don't give up on me. Right. I mean, just because I come on here and I try to be honest, right, on how I feel about something, that doesn't mean that I'm saying your idea is stupid, because it's not simply not the case. I just may not know. I may not be that far, or you may be wrong. One of them's right along the way. But what I'm certainly willing to do is sit down and have the discussion with you. And I'm certainly willing to consider those opinions and those thoughts and, those kinds of things. But if the first time you say to me, some statement about, you can only go to heaven by X, and then I put up any counter argument or even ask a question about it, for then to put up a wall and say, okay, we can't be friends or we can't talk anymore, I think is exactly what causes the problem where we're at. We live in a world so divided by, black versus white and Republican versus Democrat and Christian versus Muslim. And I mean, heck, boy versus girl anymore today.
Yeah.
And we buy into all of this stuff. And if you are, and I'm going to piss somebody off when I say this, but if you are so incredibly intelligent that you have nothing left to learn, then, this is going to be the wrong channel for you, I guess. Right. Because anyway, it irritated me to some degree to just say, because I used to tell you the story about my uncle who used to say I was crazy, and then came to me one day and said, you might be the smartest guy I know. And I always say that I was so glad I didn't call him stupid. I'm so glad when he called me crazy that I didn't attack back and I didn't draw those lines, because had I done that,
Yeah.
he would not be where he is
Your
today.
relationship wouldn't have been
Right. Instead, we just agreed to disagree, and then we continued our debate over the course of 2 years, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know?
Well, that's it too. Like, look how like our children have come. They didn't always believe, and still don't always believe the same things that we believe. And there's no way we're gonna say, we can't be around you because you don't believe the way we do. And shoot, when when Lisa was here, she goes, "Oh my gosh, are they always like this? Because you and our oldest were just, well, what do you say about this?
Right.
Well, what do you say about this?
Right.
Well, this is what I think." And well, no, you can't be. That's not right.
Mm-hmm.
How can it not be right? What you're missing is this. Well, no, I didn't see it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because you're not looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see somebody go, "Ooh, I don't want to be around that. Oh my gosh, I don't want to be around that." But what you two were doing, you guys weren't arguing.
Mm-hmm.
He feels that he is right,
mm-hmm.
and you feel as though you are right. And that's how we grow, is by debating, and one of you might change your mind and one of you might not, but either at the end of the day, we're still going to love each other.
Yeah. I think for anybody to say that they know 100% of the truth, 100% of
There's
the way,
no way.
They know 100% of the Bible, they know 100% of the Quran, they know 100% of politics, they know 100% of whatever, I think is an ignorant statement.
They know what happens
when we
die.
I think it's just such an ignorant statement, because at the end of the day, there's so much out there, and I'm learning every day. I'm growing as a human being every day and getting smarter. And so I think just really the point to this whole story was just to say, keep your heart open.
Yeah.
And keep your mind open. And you don't always have to agree with somebody. It doesn't matter. You can agree to disagree and get back at it, because eventually enough of time will go by. If your argument is sound, it will reign.
Right.
Just truth doesn't hate to be told.
Truth doesn't hate to be told. Right.
Right.
Yeah,
it doesn't. And if it's the truth, and if it is the way, it will stand up against scrutiny. It will stand up against criticism. It will stand up against those things. But for us to just throw up a wall and say, I don't know, that just kind of irritated me, to say the least. You probably noticed.
Well, and you're so lenient.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love the debate. I love hearing other people's.
I know, and I do not. And I was raised going to church on Sunday. I was raised, Bible verses and church songs and church camp, and and you were not.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been things that you go, wow, I didn't look at it that way, or wow, this, there's a reason that things are going the way they're going. I don't know why, I don't know the answer, but I can tell you that things are falling in a certain way that wouldn't have happened if it was just by chance.
Yeah.
And so you're like, geesh, so we all have our own paths, and we all have our own steps along the way.
And if I can be the very best friend to you that I can be, it's to push those boundaries. Right. And I think that's for all of us. Yeah. And, I've got some friends in my life who, going back to the Christianity thing, and I'm not a Christian. In fact, I consider myself a bad Christian. But I do, right? It's as honest as I can be. But the fact of the matter is, I have some really good friends who they don't push so hard as to irritate me, right? But they're steady, and I actually appreciate it, because I don't know what that all is for me, right? But I welcome it. But at the same time, when I refute it or I ask a hard question, you can't get mad at me and then go home.
Right. Well, they can.
Well, but the truth wants to be told.
Growing.
Right.
Anyway. And then the reason I feel like people are putting in our lives and in each other's lives for, however long it is, for a reason, a lesson, a stepping stone, a reason. And it can't all just be by chance. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Gizmo, good evening. Off the wall prepper, good evening. I got to get caught up here real quick. Hey, Todd, not Todd. How's it going? Rickster says fences make good neighbors. See, the thing is I want good neighbors without fences. I know I want my cake and I want to eat it too, huh? Right. Hey, Mandy Garrett's in the house. Here we go. Division instead of humanity. You're so right. Oh, guys, they keep us divided. We're going to talk about this a little bit later tonight as we kind of go through this. We're going to talk on these points, but I think it's absolutely true, you know? And Hold My Beer says, yes, let's reason together. Yeah, let's reason. Again, the truth doesn't hate to be told. So if it's the truth, why can't we just stand on it?
Yeah.
Instead of saying, okay, you don't know this, so you're stupid. I mean, that's just not, that is not how we spread freedom. What is freedom? Is freedom only freedom when I believe what you believe?
Yes.
I mean, come on. How can we claim to be freedom lovers? Oh my goodness, get me on a rant. Ghetto says ad messed up his comment. Guys, I don't know what's going on with the ads. I have no control over it. David says, when I encounter those situations, I try to pretend I'm speaking to my grandmother. That's actually pretty good advice right there.
You talk loud.
Or slow down, come at it a different way, try to position it in a way that grandma would understand, you know, grandma would, you know, but then grandma will say something back and make you go, I didn't think about it that way. Gosh, my grandma would be very disappointed. We need to come together as a people, as humanity, instead of division. You're so right. We should be able to disagree and speak out about how we feel no matter what. Amen. Right? Amen. I can take anybody's opinion and not get upset. It's fine.
Yes, you're a lot better at it.
I'm very good at it because I want to grow.
Yeah.
I want to know what the ultimate truth is.
Yeah,
I do.
See that.
I absolutely do, which is why I'm always learning about something. Right? I mean, very rarely will you catch me listening to just Fox News or something, right? I mean, very, very rarely. It's some documentary on volcanoes or something, you know.
Or Waterworld.
Or recently Civilizations, which is what I've been on, you know.
Or Waterworld.
Or Waterworld, yep. Waterworld's a great movie. I don't care what anybody says. And if you disagree with me, I love you still. You know, Ghetto says, I agree. Humanity should be able to roam free around the world. The system gave us borders for our countries down to our states to keep us separated and divided from the start. Okay, Ghetto.
Never thought of it that way.
But I agree. Humanity should be able to roam free around the world. Does that mean that humanity should be able to come on your property without your permission? Answer that question, and then I'll ask a follow-up question. Big kid got reconnected. You see here. Yes, I have these same type of discussions with my oldest son. I just don't get it.
How old is your oldest son, Nito?
Tag, I know 100% if nada. Let me see here. They're full of it. No one knows everything. That's why community is so important to learn from each other. Amen. Right. And guys, our community, I can tell you, I learn from people all the time. All the time in our community. Who they do something a particular way, they go, oh, that made a lot of sense. You know, that was smart.
Yeah.
You know. Let me see here. The more I learn, the less I comment. Right. Right. Ghetto says, sadly, though,
right there.
It's too late in humanity's history to just open everything up. We would destroy each other because of the hate sown for so many centuries. I actually agree with that, but still, if I can get down, if there's more comments, I'll let me see. I have family members, Kelly says, that are always right. Anybody who, this is why I'm always so hesitant. I got asked to be an expert on a forum, a off-grid homesteading expert. I'm like, expert? I really don't like that title very much.
Expert on what?
Oh, on homesteading, on solar systems. Because, man, talk about...
We're just learning.
Oh, man. I mean, I live it every single day, but I would not consider myself an expert. So I think anybody that says, hey, I'm an expert, whatever, fill in the blank.
Yeah, I think if we can get through a winter without blowing a pump, then we'll be closer to an expert.
Right. Right.
Not this year.
Right.
Already broke a pump.
B broke a pump. She pushed it too far. Hippocrates says the answer is it depends, because I do believe there are some situations where a person's actions and some other beliefs and attitudes as exhibited by actions demand complete separation. Okay, so if you were to punch me, I would agree with that. If you were to resort to calling my family members names or, you know, something like, I get it. But to simply have a debate on whether an AR-15 is better than an AK-47 or I mean, what's wrong with open debate? As long as I'm not physically hurting you or threatening to take any one of your rights away, I don't see how it ever depends. Why you can't just say, okay, cool. We disagree. It's fine. You know, I've got some family members who we adamantly disagree on points, but I still love them. I'm still going to be nice to them and cordial to them. And I don't want them out of my life just because we disagree, you know?
Right. There's a lot of those.
Yeah. Just think Christ was Jewish. Yeah. Exactly a reason I so agree. We are in this place and this time for a reason, for sure. Yes, we are. Louise says, tag God loves your heart. And Louise, I wish I was a better Christian. But the problem is the way that I'm wired, it's like I want to understand it and I want to.
Well, and you weren't given the whole, well, yes. I'll just stop there.
Yeah, which B was going to say, you don't have to stop. I wasn't given a great example, which hurts me, I guess, in the long run, right?
Well, on so many fronts. Yeah,
Rusty Doc, how's it going? Barb, hello. I thought I might be close to getting to the bottom. Maybe. See, Wilmer Rock says, different people understand at different times. Live long enough and thought really changes because of experience. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm changing all the time. You know, the way that I believed about what I believed about the system has
like
dramatically
when you were 20,
changed.
when you were 30,
when
you were 40.
Yep. Did you guys know that when I joined the military, I really thought, I was really excited that I got to go spread freedom.
I was going to say, you're going to make a difference.
And I believed it in my heart. You know, I mean, I absolutely believed that's what we were going to go do. Until
you realized that they were murdering women for their food.
Mm-hmm. No, you're talking about something else. But yeah, no, I don't really think I realized that we weren't spreading freedom until later in my life, you know, my upper 20s or maybe even my early 30s. You know, maybe by the time I really got it. But at the time, I really did believe. So you could have said anything you wanted to say to me at the time, and I would have told you it was my duty to serve my country, and it was an honor to serve my country, and we were going to go spread freedom. You could have argued any point you wanted to. I wouldn't have listened to you. Right? I guess as most 20 or 18-year-olds would do. But again, I think we need to stop letting people divide us, you know, and more importantly than letting people divide us, we need to stop dividing us. Right? We can say, hey, it's cool. We disagree. Have you considered this? Because at the end of the day, the truth doesn't mind being told, right? So if it's a good, thorough, complete argument with good points, it will stand. As soon as you start calling names or as soon as you start slamming the door, guess what? You've lost your argument. Argument over. Okay. Quit ranting. Got to have Old and New Testament, right? I ain't sure about that either. Yeah, everyone's at a different path in the world, point in the path in the world, 100%. And that's how I actually replied to him is, hey, look, I'm at the place in my journey I am, and I'm trying to learn every day. You know, divide and conquer. Those in power keep us divided, and while we're distracted, they do whatever they want. Yes, they do. We're going to talk about that too. See, Big Kid said, I finally found someone to come here and help me. We're in the process of making her camper habitable. Oh, awesome. Yeah, Waterworld's a great movie. I just watched Saving Private Ryan, another good movie. Rickster says The Postman, another great movie. Yeah, B will come upstairs and I'll have like B's favorite movie of all time, Dances with Wolves.
No, it is not.
Let me see. In Missouri, someone comes on your property uninvited. It won't turn out good here for them. Just saying. Yeah, but this is the argument I always want to make with people who say there should be open borders. Well, what about personal property? Tell me what does that mean? Does that mean just means public property is the property of everybody in the world, but private property is not? And then where do you draw the line in private property? Right? And I would love to have this good open debate without making somebody mad. Pete says, if I'm wrong, I hope someone will call me out and question. But I'm going to tell you, if you're wrong and someone calls you out and questions you, they're your real friend. Yep, I like Waterworld. It's got Kevin Costner in it, yeah. No, I don't, Tag. Each of us has inherited this earth. We should all be entitled to our own piece of land. Problem is we let the system dictate those property lines. Yeah, so this is where it gets muddy, right, Ghetto? And Bud, I will absolutely have this conversation, right? I mean, so each one of us are entitled to our own piece of land. Who determines that land? Is it self-determined? Do we determine it that I get, 40 acres and a mule, or what if I want that 1,300, or my request maybe is too much? Who determines it? So that'd be my next question to you. Who determines it? Let me see here. None of us are good Christians. God knows this. Yeah. And Luis, I really appreciate you saying that because I struggle with it, but I also think that I have to be honest about it. I am not going to be the hypocritical Christian. I was raised around that. And you want to turn me off super, super quick, start preaching the Bible as I watch you break the law. Start preaching the Bible where I watch you tear down your husband or tear down your wife or tear down your kids or humiliate somebody in public. Preach the Bible to me and then go treat the lady at the McDonald's drive-thru poorly. You got to turn off quick. Like, I don't want to be that. So I think it's critical to be honest in what we say. Hey guys, we're all in this together. We are. Hippocrates, in some traditions of Christianity, the focus is on understanding. In others, they celebrate the mystery, the not knowing that certain things are not for us to know and understand. Yeah, see, I want to study the Christianity that focuses on understanding. Because the just not knowing and just do it because I said so and trust me, don't go with me very well. So at least I can admit I'm not perfect and proud to say I'm always learning. Amen. Right? Some people are narcissists and I leave them to themselves. You see, but to ask you one back, is the land you're on really yours? History would probably show that the land was owned previously by another family that ended up getting it from them at one point in history. So here's the thing. So the short answer is no, but not because of the reason you gave. My land, I purchased from the person who owned it before me, who then purchased it from the person that owned it before them. We exchanged our energy. I went to work for many years, worked very hard so that I could afford to own land of my own. And so do I own it from that perspective? 100%, but I'll never really own it because of personal property tax, because don't pay them and see what happens. Right. So from the government perspective, I would say I never own it. But from your perspective, I honestly, by contract, in good faith, purchased this piece of property with my energy capital that I stored up for many years and made many sacrifices so I could have this. I didn't spend my time on vacation, right? I created a place where my wife could have a permanent vacation, right?
Yes.
Religion divides people. I don't think it has to, right? I mean, I think that there's great Christians out there who can say it and who can, can transfer those feelings, right? But I also think there's a lot of hypocrites out there. Man. Hey, Radio Meat Easy's in the house. Yep, go check him out. What's up, Evan? And realize when we are being divided. Yeah. And just, guys, it's easy. Just don't be divided. I mean, I think at the end of the day, just like I was talking to you guys about this conversation, I wish this guy no ill. And if he would get back on the comments or whatever and want to get into another conversation with me, I'm going to get right back into the same conversation with him. And I'm going to be honest the whole way. And because at the end of the day, he really is, and I've had a lot of conversations with him. It really is a pretty good guy, right? He wants people to be free. He wants people to live a quality of life. There's just some fundamentals that him and I can't. I'm just not there yet. If that makes sense.
And it's about religion.
No, it's about property rights. And his point is there is no personal property rights. That the world belongs to everybody. And so anybody from any country could come over and they could put a tent over here, and there's not. That's.
Oh, geez.
I'm not there. I've had tons of conversations with the open door stuff. End of it all, it's just a way too late for us to do so. Yeah, it probably is too late for us to do it. But I like this conversation and to try to figure out how it works, because as I've said many, many times, although we hold the same value, we are not all equal. And if I'm willing to do the things no one else is willing to do, then I will reap the rewards that most people can never reach. Right? If I'm willing to go work hard and I'm willing to save and I'm willing to do those things, I can have those things. Some people's priorities are other things. Mine was to own land. Farm Ranch Homestead, hello. You made it. Tag, it's healthy to ask questions. The good news is the truth will set you free. And the truth don't mind being told, right?
Right.
I mean, and so I'm going to keep learning and I'm going to keep growing, and it's going to be good, and I'm hoping, this time next year when we're talking, I'm, a little bit better of a bad Christian.
I was going to say a little wiser.
Yeah,
that you did some learning.
If you don't own the property, personal property, how can they tax it? Well, they wouldn't be able to, which is with the illusion of property, of, ownership of personal property, right? Which is a tragedy, in my opinion. You are known by your fruits. Another great way to say that, right? But isn't and if you had 10 people who went and worked really, really hard and saved all of their money, what they would do with that money would all be different.
Well, yeah.
Like I know a lot of people who all they want to do is go travel. They work, save to go see another place in the world. I think it's great. But then don't come to me and say, well, how come you have property and I don't?
I can never afford property.
No. Yep, I hear that a lot. And you know what? A lifetime is a long time. And you can save a lot of money in a lifetime. You know? See, that's why it's important to answer right now in history. So many laws and lines have been made to where there is no fix it. Yeah, I don't think there's a political solution to our current problems. I think we're in the tail ends of civilization, kind of crumbling. But we must try to walk in the perfect footsteps of Messiah. But God knows we aren't perfect. That's where grace and forgiveness come into play. Sandy, I love this. I really like this statement. And I think I get misunderstood a lot on my point on Christianity because I'm not an atheist, and I would not claim to be an atheist. I'd claim to be a poor Christian. I'm just not a very good one. But it's my journey, and it's my journey to walk and, try to live a good life, try to be a good person, and try to understand it somewhere along the way, And maybe that's not enough. I don't know. Let me see here. Barb says the government can take your land anytime. Yep. Which is why I would answer to Ghetto's question earlier. No, I don't own my land. Yep. Religion is flawed by man. God wants order, right? But we mess it up. We do mess it up. This is why you've heard me comment about how Jesus hung out with rejects.
Yep.
He didn't hang out in the church. And to me, that's probably one of the most fascinating things about that. There's a lot, but that's one fascinating story, throughout the Bible is that, and which why I've quoted it several times. Let me see here. Bearded Homesteader, how are you? Says, if you know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, he's an advocate to the Father for you. He tells the Father, you sent me to die for their sins. And then looks at you and says, I know we're going to do this again tomorrow. Scarlet Oak says the Yellowstone series with Kevin Costner's 20 minutes from her. Yeah, Pete agrees with you. Let me see here. Does this gentleman ever lock his car or his house door? Does he believe in the concept of theft? Oh, I think he would tell you that there's good people and there's bad people. But the bad people don't take away the rights of somebody else. There's a lot of what he says is actually beautiful. I just don't think it's possible. It's just like the idea of socialism. In theory, on paper, it sounds good, but you can't find a single example of it ever working, Choices and free will. Yeah, we have them, don't we? Yeah, choices are the hard part. Gregory says, my father-in-law, born in 1917, says people are people and you can't expect much out of them. Yeah, I think we don't expect as much out of ourselves, and we've got a society that's complacent, that just doesn't care, or whatever it is, which is again
a lot of them don't want conflict either,
leading to where we are. Well, but why do you suppose they don't want conflict? I mean, has it been bred out of us forever and ever? When I would take the society I grew up in any day of the week, when two guys got mad, we went and duked it out, and then it was fine.
Yeah, I think
versus what happens
they'd
today.
rather just not talk to each other.
Or
and then you have neighbors on the same block that have, no relationships.
Yeah. Where am I at here? Let me see here. I always wanted to be dropped by helicopter into my 1,000 acres. Oh, I'd like that. That'd be fun. Yeah. Sandy Phillips, you nailed it. Faith makes what I believe a fact. It's up to me how I make people feel about my faith. I think this is a really important point, that we get to choose. Let's say that you're to Ghetto's point. Let's say that you are a diehard Christian and you believe if your actions cause people to turn from Christ and to run the other way, you aren't a very good Christian.
Yeah, but I think that if they think that, why would they think that they were at fault?
Because
it's you that has the problem.
See, I disagree. I don't. Man, I don't even know we're going to get into all this tonight. Like, how they talk about, I've had a lot of Christians tell me about how you should fear God. And like, to me, that's not what God is, that God wouldn't be a, big bully with a magnifying glass on an anthill.
Have you heard him say God is a vengeful God?
I've heard that. I think if you were that kind of supreme being out there, you'd be loving and you'd be kind and you'd be compassionate and you would be, all of those things. And you would want people to come to you because they want to come to you, not because they're peer pressured or they're regulated to, or, whatever it is. And anyway, I don't mean to rant.
No, God knows your heart. I mean, he created you. He knows he knows what you're made of and your intentions and your story before you do. You're here for a reason. You're here because he created you. He allowed you to be here. He wanted you here.
Oh my gosh, I'm falling behind. Sandy says, I'm in tag. Your relationship with the Father is between you and him. Yeah, and we struggle. I'll be honest.
Like any father, son.
we do,
I want to do it my way.
Yeah. Rick says, I have spirituality works best for my soul. Hey, there's the famous Life with Mike and Jen. Good evening. We have a relationship, not a religion. That's our view on faith. Too many greedy, litigious religious leaders. Could not agree more. I'm pretty anti-organized religion, so I've not seen it do, much good. But I really look forward to the day here inside the community where we can maybe have some Sunday school, or maybe just have not a service, not like a Sunday service, but just an open conversation about it. Like, hey, let's read
Bible study.
Let's read this book. This one book in the Bible. Let's just talk about it. Like I would, to me, that would be fine, and I would warm to it, and I'd have an open discussion. Instead of one
guy preaching it, telling his side of what you should be thinking.
Yeah, right.
How you should feel about it.
Let me see here. To me, religion is similar to government. One more rock. You were right on. I could not agree more with that. Let me see. Oops. Pushed send. Should be a relationship with Christ. Yeah, I really like the way that Life with Mike and Jen said that they have a relationship, not a religion. I like that a lot. Karen says, tag, if you want to go down a rabbit hole and study something interesting, read about money from back before it was a thing, all the way through history. Fascinating and somewhat predictive. Yeah, I've done a fair amount of reading about that. And I don't know how far back I've gone compared to what you're talking about, but I'm on this civilization kick right now. But I will absolutely look up the origins and see if I can learn anything new, because I like that kind of stuff. Let me see where we at here. I believe the best way to lead people to Christ is by your actions. I could not agree more. Instigator says there are many different kinds of fear. I never physically feared my father, but I did fear disappointing him. Oh, great point. Hippocrates, this is a great point. And understood he most definitely can use unpleasant things to correct me. Yep. I feared my dad because he'd kick my ass, and I knew it in that. But there is, I guess, you could fear of disappointing somebody. So that's interesting. I'm going to contemplate that. I think that's a great point. I agree. I've had a hard time believing I should fear my dad. Yeah. Oh, here we go. I do. Apparently, I am way behind. Oh, yeah. I'm not too far. I'm a little behind. Okay. Just 2 scrolls. I was at the bottom. So the fear he talks about is reverence and not to be scared.
That's the
fear God in the sense of trembling with reverence is what I've been taught. Now, not in the denomination I grew up in. Well, I think this depends on which Christian you're talking to. And I've had many of them tell me that he's a God to be feared. So, oh, Hacks. What's up, Hacks? Hacks for the homesteaders in the house. It's coming, tag. What's coming? Please fill in that blank, because that could be a million things if you live between my ears. To fear God means to deeply respect. So why don't they say to deeply respect? Not really to be afraid of him. The Hebrew, Greek, Aramaic translation to English is lacking. Yeah, I was going to say, why don't they just say, hey, God should be respected? I think everybody should be respected, right? As long as it's earned. Yeah, right. Religion is a business. Relationship is a choice. I like that too. Most religions make it to where God, boss, employee relationship, and that's not what he wants with us. I agree with that. Hey, Rabid Coyote says, and then there are us true heathens. Evening, y'alls. Hey, good evening to you. The conversation is what leads to wars. I'm assuming that's what that says. The conversation is what leads to wars, though, isn't it, Tag? not sure. Reword that. There are several passages about God being vengeful, but it all points to his enemies, not his children. Yeah, and I hope I wouldn't be an enemy, right? I mean, does it come down to, be good to each other, be good to your wife, honor your kids, honor your parents, don't steal, don't cheat, don't lie, right? Those things that were outlined, in the 10 Commandments, and live your life, in a good way. And I think that goes a long ways, And I've heard a lot of people say, nope,
not
enough. Well, see, now you're telling me God has an ego. You know what I mean?
No, you have to check all the things.
What if I checked all the things, but I don't know. I'm going to get myself in trouble tonight. There are several passages about God being vengeful, but it all points to his enemies. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Sorry about that. Read it twice. Working with data to get this going. Yeah, he's talking about that. Yep. Again, Botho, good evening to you. In this meaning, fear equals respect. Well, why don't they just say respect? I've spent a great deal of time pondering the parable of the prodigal son has radically transformed my perspective on God the Father. Isn't that interesting how it's this big journey, Evan, I wish I was better at it. Would love to know what you feel about this question tag. Would we have free will if we didn't have the devil? Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to answer that question. I'm so, like I said, I'm a bad Christian, And so thinking at it from my good Christian tag would say you could not have free will if you didn't have the devil. Thinking at it through the bad Christian tag says that we are an evolved species and, we'd absolutely have free will whether there was
free
God
will before we sinned. We had free will to do the sin.
I mean, I have dogs that have free will. They go where they want to go, do what they want to do, right? They decide a lot of things. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Guys, I'm falling so far behind. I'm sorry. Okay. Old Testament, God had no problem smoking people who were disobedient. See, this is one of the parts, Sandy, that I personally struggle with right here. Right? So there was an old God and then we got a new God, like he got wise, but wasn't he like the all-knowing, all-wise from the very beginning? I don't know. This is just these are the things that I, again, study with. The Bible studies to search out truths from the Bible and ancient history. Oh, got it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Like any good father, he wants his children to be well and safe. Okay, so let's say they're well and safe. Is that enough, Jen? Goodness. It's always very difficult, especially for U.S. citizens, to understand what it is to serve a king, as our entire culture is based on every man, every woman being a king and bow down to no one. Yeah, that might be my problem. By the way, you and B handled your neighborhood about the fire was the ultimate witness of Christianity. Aljo, I love this statement because to me, that's what God is. What God is are you living well, right? Are you, taking care of your neighbors? Are you looking out for people? Are you doing the right thing, right? Are you lying? Are you cheating? Are you thieving, right?
And you because that's the godly thing to do.
Yeah, what I'm saying is if you did all of those things and didn't know God's name, would he be mad?
So if you were doing his will without praying to him?
Yes. Let's say you didn't even know him. Let's say you grew up in a family and you never even knew him, but yet you lived your life according to those.
And you weren't a sinner?
And we're all sinners. What I'm talking about is that you try to be a good person, right? And you try to do the right thing all the time. And you're living a good life. You're not making, your life out of theft. You're not making your life out of those things. You're not taking from other people. You're trying to be part of the solution instead of be part of the problem. Is that enough? Because the first Christian that tells me that's enough will have my eyes way more open, because one of the things I've always disagreed with is that point.
Not doing the right thing is just not enough.
Yeah, the doing the right thing is
pray to in my name in order to
because to me, like that,
make it to heaven.
That God,
eternal life.
God would be this incredible thing that. How would I say this? That if you were living a good life, because he made you, that would be honoring him, and that I don't know. I struggle with that point. But Aljo, I love what you said right there. Salty Dog says, easy, ladies and gents. Good evening to you. Who's feeling a little salty? Yeah, we've gone off on a tangent. But it's cool, man. It's cool. 10 Commandments, New Covenant, pretty simple. So that's what I think too, right? King James Version was not translated in American English. The best verse in the Bible for me to live as Christ and to die is gain is Philippians 1:21. See, Jesus simplified things even more. Basically, he commands us to love God and love people. We fall short on both. So when we do, we need to ask for forgiveness from God and from other people. None but us will ever check all the things. We are fallible, and he knows it. The reason Christ is the propitiation. What's that word, babe?
I don't know. I think it was none
for our
of
sins,
us will.
or more clearly, our memes or mistakes. Remember in the 70s, we wore clothes imprinted with "the devil made me do it." Yeah. You see here, but ouch when he prunes us. No, same God. Read Revelations. Jesus will be someone to really fear when he returns. Yeah, but is he someone to really fear when he returns if you're living a good life and you're not stealing and you're not cheating and you're not doing those things and you're helping your neighbor? Should I fear if I'm a good man and I'm living well, should I fear him? Same God in Old Testament, New Testament. He gave people many choices before they felt his wrath. City Greens. Yep, I could not agree more. Oh my goodness. Apparently I hit a topic. What?
No, I just thought I thought that the button was getting.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of John's 3:16s. All right, guys.
Do you know John 3:16?
So you have to be without sin or have Jesus. No one but Jesus has ever sinned. Let me see here. There are many people in this world who don't know him, but they are still his children. Remote villages and even people who were never introduced to him. That's what I mean. So let's say they were never introduced to him. Are they destined to burn in the pits of hell? The command is to
no, because she said that's what she was saying. They're still his children.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And I would think that because I'm a dad, and the kids that I created, I'm super proud of. I just want them to be good. I don't need them to say to me every day, "Hey, thanks, Dad, for teaching me how to work hard. Thanks, Dad, for teaching me how to pay my bills. Thanks, Dad, for teaching me to be responsible." I don't need that. They show me every day that the things that I did were worthy.
Yeah.
I don't need all of that. And that's what I'm saying is, I don't know. I don't know. Look at all of us talking about Christ. He said, "Where two gather in my name, I am with thee." Wow, we got some good stuff here. Yeah, pretty cool. Like I said, guys, I love the conversation, but some people don't. Nah, tag and be, you're good. I miss the rant. Hot tub time. Life done free as a free person. Yep. Hot tub, that actually be fun. I'd like to have a hot tub. You doesn't.
Nope.
This is fun and all, but can we change the subject? Yes, let's get on to the next thing. Here we go. When's the next festival or gathering? So the Midwest Preparedness Project, end of April, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's the last week in April. You have to look it up on the Midwest Preparedness Project website. I think that's the next
I didn't know it was already scheduled.
big one here. And then we'll get into, when we get into March and April, there'll be the whole run of Self-Reliance Festival in Kentucky. And
those are all twice a year.
Yeah, all of them will be, through twice a year. But first week of May, Eagle Over Texas says, see, that's cool. It takes someone from Texas to know when the event in Kansas is, which is pretty cool. What you got?
She's on the ball.
She's on the ball. What you got?
There is a schedule over at the free studying, right? The calendar's still going on up there so that if you need to know an event, then you can look it up on free studying calendar. And if you have an event that you'd like to add, make sure you do that. Others may want to join. So we are getting ready for company, right? We got your sister coming back.
Yep, which is pretty cool.
Yep. So we'll have a nice family gathering.
Hey, look who's in the house. Tabletop Farms. What's up, guys?
Hey, we haven't heard from you guys in a while.
Yeah, I think they've been busy.
I hope you're growing some turnips.
Yep. Tabletop Farms, mo.com, I think, which is their website, right? mo.com. And great folks, guys. Great channel to follow and just great people. Glad you guys are here.
Are they still doing their weekly lives?
They haven't in a while. They said they were going to get back to doing them, but I haven't had one pop up on my thing yet.
Yeah, they've got some good microgreen videos if you guys want to start microgreens.
Yeah, Pockery's Garden says they live Tabletop Farms. Hey, look at all those hellos.
Yeah, we're happy to see you guys.
Another topic, needs some sterile water for wound wash. It's been recalled, all of it, dated from 2021 to last month. Only one kind listed on Amazon. Even a couple weeks ago, there was pages of it. I didn't know that. Did you know
sterile water for wound wash. In can water.
There you go. There's the details of the next one, next big one around here. Thank you, Eagle Over Texas. Yeah. Jen's going to build some cold frames. All right, sorry. Go ahead. What else?
Oh, no, that's fine. I was just looking to see what was going on. Oh, there she put, Eagle Over put Tabletop Farms'
right there.
Website up. So I went and got an oil change in the Jeep today.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out why the rear defroster isn't working.
Oh, yeah, why?
It is not a fuse, which is what I thought it was going to be and hoping it was going to be. But the rear defroster, there's like a cord coming out of this black box. So when the lid flips up, there's like these cords that come out and they're like supposed to be soldered to the window, and they're not. They're just hanging there. So I need to, the Google machine says that it's super easy to fix, but I don't think that's something that I would like to venture into.
I'll fix it.
You have to like pry the little nipple out of the thing and solder it onto the glass and then reattach it.
I'll break the glass. We'll see, right?
I don't want to break the glass. That wouldn't be good. But I found out why it wasn't working. So in the wintertime, I'm going to have to just scrape it. Or just go get it fixed.
Just get it fixed.
Yeah, I don't know who to even ask. Is that a dealer thing?
Yeah, just take it to Wilson and have them fix it.
Nope, they don't do it already.
Okay,
well, they were the one. It was
take it
at the oil
take it into the
place.
Jeep dealership and have them fix it. There's all kinds of ideas for clean water here. Put some clean water in quart jars in your pressure canner. Yep. Add salt if needed. Yeah, for saline type solution. Yep. Dana, hello. Hakeshaw 54, good evening. I think I got everybody there. So good to be surrounded by such good people. Amen. Yeah, we missed you guys. I know how it gets, though. It gets busy on my end.
Yes.
All right, so just go have it fixed.
Well, and now we're getting into like wintertime, which is like stay close to home, try to stay warm. Oh.
That's good. I'm just uploading a file. That's all right.
Is that something that they're watching?
Well, no, they can't see me doing this, just so you know, but
something else I don't know if can you see that right there?
What, your glasses?
I broke my glasses. You see that screw that's hanging? I can see the screw hanging out on top.
I had to tell her twice.
I've hit my face. I've hit my glasses twice up against my my nose. This piece does yours have those little these little flappy things? And I've hit him twice up against my face, and the
Hack says he'll come down and fix your Jeep.
Hey.
Wink.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Of course he knows how to fix it.
Tell him, this is where you're supposed to ask, okay, when will you fix it?
Yeah. Hey,
you got to ask for the sale.
Right. When can you do that?
Yeah.
I got a turkey with your name on it.
That's right. We would definitely do some trading, wouldn't we? Let's see here. Dennis says, is there a safe light window place near you? Yeah, 40 minutes from us there is.
They do soldering? They solder the windows back on, or the heats?
See
yeah, I had a screw loose. I need to go get my glasses fixed.
Yeah, tabletop, I think if I remember right, Gypsy, tabletop's about an hour and 40 minutes, hour and 45 minutes from us if I remember. Yeah. Okay, good night, RN. Yeah. I thought that is why you have community. Yeah, we 100%, but everyone's busy too, and sometimes just drop it off and get it done and be done with it. But I didn't think about that. But yeah, we could
I didn't
definitely get them fixed. So anyway, let's talk about what I've been working on the homestead. So I got the second level of pod 4 100% complete as far as what I have to do. Right. So all the construction's done, all the drywall's up, the first coat of mud is on everything, all the switches work, all the lights work, everything's the way it's supposed to be. The windows are done. She's got to go in there and sand it, prime it, paint it.
No, mud it.
Yeah.
Because it's not just one coat of mud, one and done.
Yeah.
I'm not that good. And there might be somebody who knows how to do that, but I am not that good with mud.
Maybe if you practice more.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done. And so I'm out of there. I've got a video coming out. Just got some of that stuff in there. And so then I moved into the bathroom. And so there was a little bit of drywall left to do. I got all of that done. I had to pour the shower pan because what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that the slope of the concrete ran towards the drain real well. And that it stepped up just a little bit. So I'll show you guys a picture. So this is the pan that I poured right here. So this is going to be my shower in my master bedroom. And you can see the water's pooling up. That little blue dot is the drain. And you can see the water pooling right there, which means it's running. Now this had just got poured. Where that white water tubes, that pipe is in there, there's going to be a bench, and I'm going to pour a concrete top on that too. And that'll be in there. And there's a couple of heads up top, but I'll keep you guys posted. But so I did that. So that was pretty cool.
I had to fix it.
Hack said, would Sunday be too soon?
Sunday. Wait, what's going on Sunday? We have a birthday party. Sunday. I'll send you a text message.
We have something going on Sunday?
Yeah.
What do we have going on?
I have a birthday party.
Yeah, but you can go to the birthday party and I can keep your Jeep. Right? Anyway, she said she texted you. Right?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
All right, cool. We would take that. What else got going on? Oh, you want to talk about the new Christmas tree tradition that we're starting this year?
Yeah, so we would always use a fake Christmas tree that we just used every year. You had one when I met you, and I had one. And then when the boys were younger, we would put one up in the basement in front of the window, and then one up in the second level in front of the window. Why we had 2 Christmas trees, I don't know. And then we got to the point where we would only use one. Mm-hmm. And now we are doing a live Christmas tree. So when my sister and I, when we're the last to leave our house as adults, my parents did the same thing. They went to a live Christmas tree, and then every year my dad would take that and plant it. And then,
when she means live, she's not talking about one that's cut off like that then sheds all its needles. What Bee's wants to do now is buy a small little pine tree, decorate it, and when whatever it is, and then go out and plant it and do that every single year. And I kind of think that's pretty cool, especially if I can remember which Christmas belongs to which tree.
You can label them.
Let's see, I took a picture.
And then you can
see your little Christmas tree.
Yeah, so we can only fit, like 4 homemade ornaments. We've got the 3 kids, kindergarten pictures or first grade, whatever they are, and then we have.
Hey, Will Parker, how are you from Alaska? You're right on time. 1 hour and 13 minutes in.
So we have one for each of the kids, and then there's one that just says our name with a little metal stocking on it.
So how many Christmas ornaments are on the tree?
I think there's 4.
4 Christmas ornaments on our tree.
And then a homemade star that I found in the box. So
does that mean we can just get rid of the rest of the stuff?
Well, no, because a lot of those homemade ornaments, those are not replaceable.
Well, and don't get rid of the tree because I have a use for the tree.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Can anybody guess what I have a use for?
Well, you just never know when you just need
old Christmas trees.
Oh, more than one?
Oh, yeah, I got a whole bunch of them. I've been collecting them. I have a project coming up. I need a whole bunch of old fake Christmas trees for. Bet you can't guess what it is.
I think you have a problem. If there's certain things that you shouldn't keep. A lot of You should not have a collection of old Christmas trees.
Yeah.
That's not something that.
You know that Karen's
we
is a
should
tree
be
with a
storing.
root ball and a burlap bag is a good idea. And Miley's late, but Miley's right on time too.
Yeah, so take that Christmas tree out and we'll plant it out in the yard, and then we'll have an entire row of like past Christmas trees that we've created. I think that's a great idea. And that's something that my parents did too. So
yeah. Aw, getting all sentimental on me.
Yeah.
Another,
Christmas is that time.
Yeah. Are you gonna comb your hair Christmas Day?
Remembrance. No. I don't even have a mirror to look in. I don't even know what I look like these days. I remember when we were coming over here to build the pod and the Jersey cow lady came over and I took my sunglasses off. Do you remember that? And she goes, "You have makeup on." And I was like, "I put makeup on every day." And she was like, "Good God." And I was like, what kind of crazy woman doesn't put her makeup on when she leaves the house? Duh. And now I don't even brush my hair.
Yeah, clearly.
But I go like this, like, look, no tangles. See that? No tangles. Done.
One more rock says we're creating a fake forest around a specific area. Hey, Bobby Spags, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Bobby.
Yep. Gregory says throw those old trees in the pond for the fish to hide.
The old trees?
Yep. Look at all that love for Spags. We used to have a huge bonfire with everyone's Christmas trees in the desert for New Year's Eve when we lived in the high desert. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Those are dead trees.
Yep.
That would be a nice bonfire.
Data Green says, oh. See, Spags, you're clearly loved, bud.
That's so funny how that cartoon picture looks so much like him.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. He's got little pins and all kinds of funny stuff. All right, what else you got? Oh, we talked about your sandwiches. Yep.
Yeah, my sandwiches were a sandwich to remember.
Oh, yeah. Clearly the puppy.
I should have done a wood cooking video. Wood cooking. And then like took it, like knocked it on the stove.
You should have.
And it would have been like
you should have.
a brick.
Yep, you should have.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, Miley said, I've done away with the tree thing. Yeah, we're going to go to the small little tree like I was showing you guys. And then we're just going to plant it every year.
Yeah, so I had to get those like little battery powered lights. It takes like 2 AA batteries. And so.
Yep. Well, there was some big news on the home front as far as when I say this community, I'm not speaking of our community. I'm speaking of geographically the community. We have a school that I'm super fond of up here. And,
made the newspaper.
They made the Capital City newspaper because, and I'll show you guys the article here. But it says school withdraws membership. So Jackson Heights to be the sole defector of Kansas support group. A school district in rural northeast Kansas has withdrawn its membership from the Kansas Association of School Boards. So we had a local school here get out of all that. And this is the same school that refused to mandate the mask. And right here in, little old northeast Kansas. And, we've put some pressure on this school and make sure they know we're here. And so I like to think at least we played a tiny role in this. Maybe, maybe not, but I'm super excited for them to pull out of that. And I think more schools need to do that. But I think it's interesting how it says they're the sole defector. You can look this up if you guys are interested in it in the Topeka Capital Journal, Sunday, December the 3rd. And there's there's an article and it continues on another page there. And I'm not going to read them all, but anyway, how cool is that? I'm super cool about that. I think that's awesome. B, I wish I had no tangles. I could brush my hair every 5 minutes and still have tangles. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see here. Rapid says, I have a Yule log. The tree's outside. Yeah. Look at that. Go Jackson Heights. Look at that. Yep. LJC. How cool is that? Right.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm very, 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 very excited that they did that. And I think it just, is hope, right? That people are beginning to wake up. And I know this school is on the edge of this whole front, right? But they don't put up with it anyway. And they don't like being told, what to do. And they're clearly by their actions.
Right.
I mean, and so I'm proud.
Right. That took some courage to.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And hopefully they won't be the last one. And I hope now what they do is they see a surge of new kids. parents going, hey, I like this. Now they've been having surges every year. And, that's, kind of good and kind of bad because somehow you got to fund the growth. But
I had one of the moms of a kid that goes to school there was like, oh my gosh, did you hear? She was picking her kid up late. Not late the kid has a class after school. So she was picking the kid up late for normal school, but on time for this extra class. And she goes, did you know they have shooting at the school?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, I pulled up to pick him up and there was all kinds of gunfire going off. And I jumped out of my car and ran up to the school and was like, what is going on out here? And she's like, they're practicing. And I'm like, good for them.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but good for them.
Yeah, they actually have I toured the whole school, and they actually have a mechanic shop and a wood shop. And
don't all high schools
I don't know. I don't think a lot of them do anymore.
Your school have a mechanic shop and a wood shop?
Mine did.
Yeah, ours did not have shooting. I mean, I'm old enough to have had kids in the parking lot with rifle racks in the truck with their rifles on their truck. But the school didn't have a shooting program. They had archery in Lincoln when our nieces were going to school there, but not rifles.
Yeah.
Not handguns.
I think it's great. Jen says, we have a gnome named Scott. No room for a tree in the fifth wheel. Yeah. You should have a little Mario.
A gnome.
Get rid of the gnome
Scott.
and replace it with a Mario. Has anyone heard about the county of Michigan that became a sanctuary county for the Second Amendment? I had not, but if you had a link to it, I would certainly put it up on the screen. Let me see. Someone told me legislation was recently passed allowing government to take people's food if they think households have stockpiled too much. Anyone know if there's any truth in this? I have not seen any new legislation, but they don't need new legislation. They can do that anyway. If they get into any of that martial law, any of that kind of stuff, they can absolutely come in and take it. And that, But no, I have not heard that. Yeah. Big with Consequences says there are several executive orders outlining that. Yeah, and it should be in a time of distress or a time of. I don't think there's one out there that just says in any time. I think there's some conditions, but maybe not. Yes, I've heard of that law. That two law or emergencies have always had that. Yeah, that's what I think too. They have a sewing class after school and provide bus transportation for it. Yeah, I know, right?
That's awesome. I didn't know they had bus transportation.
Yeah, what a great school. Let me see here. I'm trying to find some good bedding ideas, like for your bed or for like chickens.
Animals.
Yeah, start as a bee. I don't even wear makeup. I think the last 5 years, maybe 3 times. Yep. Shooting sports are exploding in popularity among young people. Interesting. We do have a little Mario. He lives in Mike's truck. Ribeye says, my niece currently lives in Hutchinson, was on her school's skeet team. Yeah, cool.
Oh, so they have shooting there too.
We need more of that, right? Not less of that. What else we got here?
Did you have shooting in your high school?
No, but we had, you could take pottery, you could take building trades, which I took in high school, which I'm glad I did now because I build, right? We had, my favorite class was tech drama, which was, we built the stages and all the props for the plays and all that. And they turned that into a class, which I really, really like.
That's so weird because when our kids were in high school, we built the props. You. Dad, we need a cup that a kid can fit in, and we need to push it across the stage.
Let me see here. What do we got here? I'm back. I had to answer an email. Chelsea from the Little Mountain Ranch emailed me here, newsletter I subscribed to and entered a giveaway she's doing. She's from British Columbia, and I've been following her. Oh, super cool. Yep. Glad to hear such practical classes. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. Let me see. Jesus says food pantries won't take home canned food. Wonder if the government would, since it isn't safe and all. Oh, that's a good point. That's a great point. Yeah, her high school's in Knoxville, Iowa. Okay. Daughter is placing 1 or 2 every shooting competition. Oh, love that.
Wow.
Tell her congratulations from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, cool. You got anything else? Or we just keep it rolling right on and running on?
Yeah, go ahead and roll on.
Yeah, I thought as we kind of end tonight's live in 20 or 30 minutes that we could have a talk about. I've been doing a lot of reading about civilizations, and I found some things pretty interesting. As I was going through it, I thought I'd share them with you guys and see if how many of you guys think any of them relate to today. So I looked at basically what I'm speaking of here mostly is the Egyptian Empire and the Roman Empire. They had some similarities between the two right before they collapsed. And I thought we could talk about them. What do you think about that?
Okay.
So the first one was, which I had not even considered until I was going into this, is that they were dealing with climate change. And maybe not what we deal with it in today, but there was a lot of talks like in Rome where there was droughts, right?
Okay.
And they were having a hard time with crop failure and, producing, good foods and stuff like that. And then because of how they had farmed and because of the droughts and all of that, the soil and the erosion and all of that stuff made it where it was harder to feed the people because they got so big, right? That they had a hard time keeping up with that need. And that was both true for the Egyptian Empire and for, at least based upon my sources, and for the Roman Empire. Another one was inequality and, narcissism, materialism became rampant in both Rome and in Egypt about, look what I have, right?
Yeah.
Right. Today I would compare it to, I'm super in debt and drive a Mercedes, or I got to have the best Nike pair of shoes. Back then, maybe it was, I had gold in my bracelet or whatever. I mean, I didn't live back then, but
which is very sinful.
Yeah. Which I find it interesting. They talked a lot about how both of those societies lived for the bread and circuses, so they lived for, they wanted the handouts, they wanted all of those, they lived for the entertainment, right? And so like if you think
that's what I got from bread and circuses.
Yeah. If you think back to the Roman Empire, the last emperor, the real running emperor there had lots of the gladiator games. And, it made me think a lot about how today it's the NFL and it's baseball. And it's more than that, though. It's reality TV.
Yeah.
Or maybe the bread and circus is part of
the entertainment.
The entertainment, the LGBTQ part, right? All the stuff that we're force fed all the time. We don't get real news anymore. It's some, spin. And so they talked a lot about how the inequality and the distance between the rich and the poor, back then, and then added that to the constant barrage of circus, right? And imagine they didn't even have social media back then. Now, not only do we not get to hear opposing opinions, they only feed us with what we like.
Yeah.
Look at Facebook. You click on something, you're only going to get those kind of things. So you're only really getting one side of the story anyway. You're not really, we have more information available to us than ever, but yet we're the dumbest probably we've ever been, right? In a lot of regards. So anyway, I found that was super, super interesting. Another one I found interesting was the complexity of a society. And the farther those supply chains go and the more complex it goes, the harder it is to keep up. And I was reading an interesting story about the Egyptian Empire. And one of the main things that caused them to fail is, they had all of these, think about kind of like arteries, they had all of these supply chains and all of these things going on in the world. And as they began to lose those territories, those arteries were being cut. And so the things that they were dependent upon, right?
Wheat from over here, corn
from over here, whatever. So I think about that in our society today, and we,
our supply chain is.
Yeah. When the Great Depression came, back then, one big difference is we were a manufacturing powerhouse back then. Right here today, we don't really manufacture anything. We're more of a service-based economy. And so as we see people begin to cut those arteries, and there's a lot of proof that that's going on today. Like think about what's going on with the BRICS nations, right? Replacing the dollar, and think about those supply lines. We are no longer Saudi Arabia's #1 trading partner in petroleum, right? And you're seeing those arteries kind of begin to get cut a little bit, which was one of the big factors to the last couple decades of the Egyptian Empire. And I thought that was
which inevitably led to their failure.
Mm-hmm. Which inevitably led to their failure. Yep. And then the last one that was on in all of them was a big external shock of some kind, whether, you're talking about plagues or you're talking about wars or you're talking about that. But the point is that all of those societies had all of those in common. And it's interesting. I can go through every single one of them and tie them directly to things that we're experiencing today. Hippocrates says moved from a producer society to a consumer society. That's 100% correct. And I think that consumer society, you get a lot of people, with their hand out that needs provided for. And, we talk about geographically, like when the Egyptians, how they were losing territory. And we can say, well, America doesn't really have any other territory, but it does. I mean, we have military bases all over the world and we have our business all over the world. We don't formally go in there and call it our, a country or our land or, any of those kind of things or colonies anymore.
But we receive goods from those, those countries, those arteries.
Let me see. Droughts, cost of war, import issues. Yeah, the supply chain became a big issue. And that's one of the external shock things I was talking about. And that all of them began to have a hard time to get supplies. Any of you guys having a hard time getting supplies of any kind? I mean, I can give you all kinds of examples, where you take something and, I know I've got a buddy of mine who's got a UTV. It took him 6 months to get a starter for it.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see here. We saw that in our old neighborhood, big fancy houses, vacationing in cars, and maxed out debt. So sad. Hey, Toby's in the house. He's from Roan Mountain, but soon to be from Kansas, what I'm being told. Let me see here. Parker says, also see that in trying to design solar systems, people don't want their lifestyles to change at all. If anything, get more consuming just without the grid and to be cheap.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, you do have to change some stuff around when you want to go off grid or when you want to supply your own power. There are definitely things that you have to change.
Yeah. Hippocrates says the Romans, I believe, held Egypt as their primitive domain of Caesar, so he and his elite got fed no matter what. Well, what's interesting about that is there was a lot of things that what you're talking about right here, Hippocrates, that was true about all of them. Things, and I wrote some of the points I wrote down. Last article was they all had a lack of leadership. They had internal strife, right? They had massive corruption going on. Yeah. Right? Did you know that currency, the collapse of the currency back in the Roman Empire, they used to trade in silver coins. I don't know if you know this or not, but they did. And as the politicians became more and more corrupt, what they started doing is plating copper coins. So the quality of the coin got less and less and less and less as they printed more and more and more and more money. That happened in the Roman Empire, similar to what it's happening today. And what happened is they got busted because that coating, the cladding of silver over those copper coins, eventually with wear and tear came off. And then people begin to doubt the legitimacy, right, of it, which is happening to us right now. It's interesting. We talk about what's going on with Russia and, Israel, and this is all super relevant. I've said many times on this channel that I do not believe that I think America and the NATO will do everything that they can to make sure Ukraine don't lose this. And not because they care about Ukraine, but because of our guarantees and, we'll come to your aid. And if America doesn't, and if Ukraine loses this and Russia wins this, there's going to be this huge, thing of doubt, call it the credibility conflict. Right. And I think America's holding on, to the last great hope of it being a superpower. I think they'd be so afraid that people will doubt them. And I think that story even gets worse when it comes to Israel and Taiwan, because America has come out and said it will defend Israel and that it will defend Taiwan. And so it kind of has to, because if it doesn't, the whole world's going to say, oh, you can't count on America, right? Which again, then furthers the, erosion. And then the back to the money thing is interesting too. So something that was true about all of them too is when people stop trading in back then the silver coin of the Romans, right? When they start heading into that, there's less buyers of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
which further exacerbates the problem at home, forcing you to print more money. Right? So like it compounds and makes the problem worse. Hippocrates says even during the Irish potato famine, there was an abundant food being produced, mainly animal protein, but it was exported for profit for the English. It wasn't a production problem, but a distribution. Yep. We have trouble getting parts for the semi-truck. We're having problems getting all kinds of stuff. And it's interesting that several of the places that I read about this said that one of the last things you'll see is the crumbling of the supply chain.
That's the last thing?
Yeah.
One of the last things?
Yeah. Which I found, super, super interesting. Let me see here. Miley says money and supply. Yep. I just remembered you encouraged us to choose 5 things to work on this week. What were your 5 things? Yeah. E.
I forgot. I didn't even have that written down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, was that last week?
That was last week, but I got mine.
Yep.
Yep. So
5 things for
5 things that I was going to work on this week that would help me get a little bit freer. Right? 5 things that I actually could do. But now, Lisa, I want to hear what your 5 things are when I'm done, okay? So for me, one of the big thing I've got on my plate is I really want to get pod 4 done because I'm just tired of climbing the stairs, and I want to be, I just am, I want to get up and walk 3 steps and go pee and go back to bed.
Yes.
Instead of climbing all the way downstairs and then I got to stoke the fire and then, all of these kind of things. Yeah. So one of my goals was to get the upstairs room complete and to get the bathroom ready for tile. And I have accomplished both of those things. The next thing for me is to get bales of hay moved around in order to make Bee's life a little bit easier, and then get firewood dumped off. Because I bring them to her in big crates and set them right by where she needs them because it makes it a lot easier. But I want to tell you really about one more thing that I think is super important. I have been really thinking hard about how to solve the frozen water issue. And I've got a theory, and I'd love to hear your guys' theory. So my 5th thing is to try to figure out how to stop the frozen thing. So I'm thinking about taking a 30-inch culvert pipe. Culvert pipe is what you would drive under like a road over, right?
A 30-inch?
Yeah, so about this big around.
Okay.
And about 10 or 12 feet long. And I'm going to dig a hole 10 feet in the ground. Well, first I'm going to seal the bottom of it. But I'm going to dig a hole 15 feet in the ground or whatever it is, however deep that pipe is. And I'm going to bury it all the way in there and then fill it with water. Because my theory is that the warm water 10 feet down, which would be 54 degrees, right, would constantly rise to the top. And the cold water from the top would constantly going down. And I would create a circulation with. So you're just going to use thermal dynamics, and I could create a water trough that never froze. I think.
A trough? You mean a cistern?
A pipe, basically. So basically, the cows would see 1.5 foot pipe sticking out of the ground. It would just have.
You're going to bury it up?
Yeah, straight up and down.
So water's just going to go right in it?
Yeah. And I'm going to fill it up, and the warm water from the bottom will rise to the top. And the cold water at the top will go to the bottom.
How do you stop animals from falling in?
Well, this is a good question. So what I was thinking is I'd go down, figure out how far the cows can reach their neck down in there. And wherever that is, I'll put a screen in there. So that if an animal got like a expanded metal, like a hard metal. Yeah, some kind of screen. Okay, So Lisa, you're up. What are your 5? I have no idea where I left off. Okay, let's try let's see here. My nephew was told it would take at least 6 months to get an overhead garage door. Rome was also invaded by Germanic powers. Anyone else know a world power being invaded? Right. If I get back to my list, external shock, war, plague was listed as both of those. The rabbit hole of the history of money that I mentioned, it covers many of the same things you mentioned regarding collapse of civilization, except they say collapse of democracy. See here. I believe it was Dick Durbin that was advocating getting illegals to join the military, and then they would become citizens. Yeah, see, now I think some type of public service, because I'm not anti-immigrant at all, but I don't think allowing illegal immigration, one, it says that you don't have to obey the laws, but you're breaking a law to do it. Let's change the immigration system. I don't have time for 5 things. I have too many things to do already. Yeah, well, I think those could be included in your 5 things, right? What are the 5 things you're working on now to get freer? We've done that before, especially the Civil War, off the boat and handed a rifle. I had a list of 21 things, but only got a good start on 2 of them, water storage and food storage. It's a step, right? Hey, Loco, what's up, bud?
Those are 2 really good, important ones.
Those are super good and important ones. I'm about 3 to 4 years worth of food and goodies stored now, working on a 7-years of famine plan. I actually don't think that's a bad plan at all. And guys, putting 7 years worth of food up, that is an accomplishment.
That's a chore.
Oh my goodness, that is a lot of food, That's a lot. On the pipe and the water, if that worked, small but deep ponds would never have ice on top of them. See, but this is the thing. Okay, that's a big area, right? And so you're getting a lot of air and that stuff to it. If you put that in hypocrisy, I could totally be wrong, but if I put it behind my building, which means the north side will be blocked, I'd be blocking all the north wind. I'm guessing I could keep it.
Well, and 2, like if it's something that I can go over there and just use a shovel and break the tip over or the top off, that would be.
But you can do that now with a trough. But and even if it did freeze, to your point though, I don't think it would freeze very far.
But the trough, I'd have to still refill, and it would freeze solid. The metal trough that we have.
Yeah, well, the trough sits on top of the ground, so it's more likely to freeze.
It's not frozen solid yet.
I'm going to try it. And I think at the very least, and you could put a circulator in it too, in a float where you had water coming in it and all that stuff, but I don't know. We shall see, right? Ponds and lakes freeze on the surface. Why wouldn't the vertical pipe? Well, I don't know. First of all, Dennis, is that I've never done this, but my theory is that it's a smaller area. If I can block the north wind, put it back behind the building, that the warm will rise and will keep it less frozen. I mean, we really only get about 1 month worth of really freeze, but I'm going to try it because I think it's worth that. And again, you may need to put a circulator in it. You may need to put something that would push that help that warm water on the bottom, right, flow up. Maybe, I don't know.
Like during the daytime?
Yeah. Right there, surface area. That's what I'm thinking too. And I think if you were down to 30 inches, and even if you could put some kind of cover on it where you were only giving them,
enough to put
their mouth down in there, maybe that would help too. I don't know.
The only thing about that is the smaller you make it, the harder it is for, like, if a chicken fell in, then for them to get out.
Yeah, that's why I think you're gonna have to put some kind of metal something in there.
A grate, so that maybe like that they push on, because the cows they'll push down on it with their mouth.
Yeah,
and they're pretty strong, right? You got into a confrontational.
Yeah, she didn't like that.
with our heifer.
Yeah, I had the baby. But she's not really much baby anymore, but she decided she was going to butt me in the thigh, but that didn't last very long.
Yeah, so the cow that picked me up last week
butted me.
Hit you, headbutted, right?
Headbutted me in the thigh, yeah. She thought it'd be funny. I didn't find it was funny.
I don't know if I told you, I was doing chores some point in time this week, and I saw mama and baby. So like mama is like standing there, and baby comes over and they hit each other with their foreheads. So like, and when the heifer, when she's doing that with her head, like she's trying to brush her head on my leg, and she was doing that to her mom. And so I think that she's just like, they do it to each other.
Yeah, they're not doing it to me.
So they're not doing it to me. I don't care if they do it to each other. She's
Problem
not
is
doing it to
the devil
me.
runs the world. He's a liar and a murderer. That's why we've got the gospel about God's kingdom. Jehovah would put everything in order. The water at the bottom of your pipe would have to be moving. I had a thought about this, Haker's Row 54. So I was thinking if I've got to move the water, I would try to do it with air, because if I do it with water, if I do a water pump, then I got to bring that water out into the cold to bring it back down in there, right?
Oh,
If I used an air pump, maybe I could run it in the building and just pump air down there, which would be super easy. Again, I don't know if it would work, but we'd give it a shot.
I don't know, because if it if it solidified on top and it was just bubbling air into the bottom, what would happen?
Well, air would rise.
Yeah,
which is moving, which would moving the water. It'd just rise.
If it crusted over, though, if it was solid on top, if it was cold enough on top to where that,
I bet they'd get a space in between the ice and that, and it would
just bubble somewhere,
yeah,
somewhere around the lip.
Yeah, Jeep oil change, maintenance done, cleaned out the hoops in the garden, turned compost, spread leaves on the strawberries and such. Beautiful.
I could totally use help with all of that. Except for the oil change.
So I heard Mike was going to come do some plumbing.
Oh, and
a
little bit of help.
I didn't do very well. I put 55-gallon barrels in the basement and filled them with emergency water. Congratulations. Collected bags of leaves for mulch and compost. Beautiful. Decided I need meat production, probably rabbits. Yeah, good for you. I think you did great.
Lisa, where are you? Are you close?
Yeah, what about air? I'm not sure.
The air bubbling?
Yeah.
Under the water?
Yeah, I think I'd like to use air. Still have a ton to do, more than 5. Oh, yeah, there's always something to do. But for me, having a list helps motivate me. Might need a circulation pump to get warm water to the top. See, I don't know how much you would. If you could keep it small, I think heat would rise. I think if you could move the water, that would certainly help. I'm going to do some experimenting, though, Gregory, and I'll put some ports in the bottom of it so I can change the way I do things. So if I need to pump water, I'll have a place to pump water, and I'll do some of that stuff, but I think I might be able to do that. They make freeze-proof tanks with a floating ball that closes at the top. Yeah, and then the ball freezes. I know some people that have them, and they go over there and smack the ball, and then it's free again. And I think that helps a little bit, but I still think I can do it. We'll see. Tag, we use bubbler systems around the docks on the lakes to keep the lake from freezing around the docks so they don't get damaged from the ice. See, that's what I'm thinking. If it was just something as simple as a little air pump, and it would take almost no power to run, right?
Right.
Just a little air pump. Something super low power that I'm just putting up a little bit of air in it, maybe.
Well, and a aerator. We had an aerator that did that all day long.
Yeah, but that was just run directly on the solar. This one might have to run off the battery, so it did it at night.
Oh, because at nighttime when it's the coldest.
Yeah, but just a little tiny bit of power, 3 watts, 4 watts. You're just pushing a tiny bit of air. And then once the air goes in that hole, it's going to float to the top.
Yes.
Right? So I don't think I need much.
But I don't think it would always go to the same spot, It would, especially if you have a 3-foot diameter.
Yeah, here's some smart stuff. Hickshaw54 says you could use a load diversion from your solar to keep the water from freezing. What he's saying is when the batteries are all the way full and we're producing more power that we're using, we can make any excess power above what we're using or above what's going in the batteries and direct it back down into that hole where it's heating the water.
Do we have overage over there?
Oh, yeah. We dump a ton of power. No, it'd be the big system.
Oh, you'd have to have like pipes or something. You'd have to trench.
I'd have to trench an electrical line over there. That wouldn't be a big deal. Go rabbits, but you still need fat in your diet. Yep. The cows push the ball down to get the water. Yeah.
Instead of you walking over and.
But I know a couple people that have them, and they say sometimes they have to break the ball free.
Mm.
But did all of my 2023 tax prep, organized all my computer files, backed them up on 2 external hard drives and Faraday bags, made 18 quarts of born broth, made kombucha.
And kefir.
Organized 3 freezers.
Wow.
You go. Yeah. So long as the water's moving, it will not freeze. Yeah. Warm air. Well, the warmest I could get, but I'd be pumping it out of the air. It's probably from in the barn, right? I'd probably put the pump in the barn.
I don't know. There's a lot of floating debris in the barn.
Yeah, Lisa says she's in Wichita, so she is close.
Yeah. So you were at the Midwest Preparedness, right? Did you get a package for me? Was that you?
They do use air to prevent surface freezing. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is air. Air would be easier than water because what I worry about water is I have to bring it up out of the ground. Unless I'm going to bury the pump, which I don't really want to bury a pump because then I got to deal with getting at the pump. Right? The two mics are working on a plumbing portion. Then we will get our schedule together. We'll keep you posted. Tag,
Can't wait.
Look up stock tank solutions. Okay, I will.
Of course they have a solution. Why don't we just ask them?
Well, but here's the thing though, that there's all kinds of heaters, there's all kinds of stuff out there, but I would love to find a solution that I can use the heat of the earth.
Well, yeah.
Where there's nothing going to it. It just does its own thing. And I'm not the only one who's attempted this. There are some farms up in Finland and Sweden who use a version of this.
Of what you're thinking
of what I'm
building?
thinking about doing. Yeah. I didn't read about any of them in the United States, but.
Well, Finland, though, that's pretty cold.
That's pretty cold. So maybe they're different. I don't know. It's really a physics problem. Ambient temp of the air, temp of the water, how many BTUs to keep the water above freezing, insulation, surface area. Yep, 100%. I've got a buddy of mine who's an engineer who I ran this by, and he said he didn't know if it would work or not, but it was certainly worth a try. And so I think we're going to go out there and dig a hole and just try it.
You're going to have to get an excavator or something to bury that 10 feet into the ground.
I will. I've got one out there. So when Hacks from the Homestead comes over to fix your Jeep, he can fix the excavator too.
And you can just go dig a quick hole. Yeah, I've heard of the.
Yeah, like an aquarium bubbler. Yep. Oh man, I'm almost caught up. Look at that. Canned turkey broth, clean up chicken supply shed, pick up, clean up yard before snow flies, clean up storage shed so I can move some things into it and get ready for solar battery space available. Yeah, and you need space. Yes, you do. Rural King sells windmills that drive an air pump for pond aeration. That could work for your water idea too. See, and I like that because you're just using the earth. I'm not using solar systems. I'm not dependent upon, actually the less parts that I have to depend on, the better. Right? The more natural I could just make it. I'm just super interested in doing it. We'll see. Oh, I thought I was. Never mind.
I wonder if they advertise that to work in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, drop a cheap fish pond pump in the bottom of it. See, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, that's what you were talking about.
Right, just something really, really low, I heard something. Yeah, with the solar, just drop a 12 to 48 volt DC water heating element down there. Yeah, but then I'm dependent upon that. I really want to see if I can get the earth to do it. I know I can heat water, right? Is there any way to make an underground hideout to where body heat detection would not detect you? Oh, sure. You get far enough under the ground, you can, just pour a basement, put a concrete cap on it. That'll do a lot of it. If you, still worried about it covered in lead or, put dirt on top of it.
That's a lot of lead, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's good at that, though.
We just pour lead on the ground.
That's why they put, no, you can buy lead in rolls and sheets.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. When you go get,
buy something like that?
When you go get an x-ray and they put that thing over you, know what's in it?
Huh.
Lead.
So they sell rolls of that.
Yeah. People use it in roofing all the time.
I didn't know that.
Because you can bend it to flashing real well. I use solar fountain and pond to keep from freezing and keep duckweed and leaves at banks to easily clean. Lisa says, yes, I won the shirt and hoodie. Oh, cool. Yep, small world. Solar water heating flat plate or evacuated tube system and circulates that water glycerin through an insulated stock tank. Many possibilities. Well, I think insulating the tank would certainly be helpful, or certainly insulating the top 3 feet, If a trough in a greenhouse, it would stay warmer. Yeah, but now you're letting animals in your greenhouse. Right?
Right.
Air would be the easiest and cheapest way to go. I think so too. There are systems that bury a culvert pipe vertically and place a pump down in the pipe. Oh, okay. Yeah, so this is closer to what I'm talking about. Oops, I need one of those for my pond. Can you recommend a brand? See if she'll recommend one. Oh, I'm trying to get to them. Motion detector above triggers the pump and the water drains after a few minutes.
Oh. So as the cow comes over there, it fills and they drink. And then after a few minutes, the water leaves out of the valve so that it can.
Stock tank solutions. We'll look it up tonight. Is this a PVC pipe? No, I'm talking about a plastic culvert pipe like what you put in a road. That's what I thought about, but I guess the PVC would work good. Yeah, just a big black tank.
How big can you get a piece of PVC? You can't get that 3 feet, can you?
I don't know how big they make it. I've gotten it as big as a foot. Will you have frozen ground in the winter? Yep. Where you can't dig because it's too hard? Yeah, well, till you get past the frost line. You get beyond about 30 inches. Oh, you'll dig it just fine. Sorry, I was yawning.
Dig it just fine.
Just fine. Said. Yep. You can dig in the winter. You just got to get through the frozen part. That's the only hard part, right?
That's the toughest part.
How long a culvert lasts, though, Tag, while underground with water in it? Well, the plastic ones would last a long, long time, right?
What about above ground? Because plastic disintegrates in the heat of the sun and the.
I don't think a culvert will, but that's big and thick.
And
yeah, that's big and thick plastic. I don't think that it would, but maybe, Banquet, good night to you. Yeah, I was yawning too. Tag, insulate the pipe first outside. Yeah, I think at least the first 3 feet for sure, right? Sorry, everyone talking to me. Charlotte, I'm cooking turkey broth, doing laundry for sick mom and stepdad, move some plants around.
Mm-hmm.
I love all that. Better. Yeah, let me see here. I let the windmill pump water into the stock tank and keep some of the ice gone, but need a place for the excess water to go. Yeah, B out there, she tries to water where one trough overflows into another one, and our automatic systems, the overflows go to troughs. But anyway.
Sometimes it works good and sometimes it doesn't.
We got a few minutes. I got one more thing I wanted to share you guys that we didn't get to real quick. Oh, nope, not that one. We can get that one another day, that one another day. This one. This is the one I wanted to share with you guys. Well, there's a bunch of them in there, but we'll start with these. So this was just from today. Consumers are happy again as inflation expectations plunge. Both short-term and long-term outlooks for the economy improve sharply. You like that? You excited?
Good news.
Yeah, excited. Check this out.
I'm happy again.
On the exact same day, I found this, which was, remember the movie Home Alone?
Yeah.
Remember when he went to the grocery store and spent $20? He spent $19.83 to be exact, in 1990, on a bag full of groceries. So somebody went and did the math. If you bought the same things in 2022, it would cost $44.40, and if you bought them in 23, it'd be $72.28.
Eesh.
So when they start talking about inflation, by the way, that's up 248%. So basically,
oh my God.
If let's assume for the moment that your dollar was worth $1 in 1990, it'd be worth 27 cents today. And a dollar wasn't worth $1 in 1990. A dollar was worth a quarter in 1990. Right? But I think it's just crazy. Just absolutely crazy that this is the case that we're living in. I don't know about you guys. How much has your income changed since 1990? I mean, I recognize that's 33 years ago, but 33 years. Oh my goodness.
1993. Yeah.
That's a long time. But 248%. That seems completely ridiculous.
Crazy.
To me.
I mean, 1990 wasn't that far. That's long ago in my brain.
Yeah. There you go. Oops says $1, 1 to 3 cents of a $1940. Yeah, I could not agree more. And I just thought that was an interesting take, from them. Inflation is a sneaky tax. The ruling class is doing this on purpose. Of course they are. They don't want us to own anything. They don't want us to have anything. And if we're too comfortable, we won't keep going. They want to keep us broke, right? Both are likely manipulated. 1090 prices. So I'm assuming he's saying 1990 prices and 2021 prices from a high-end market in an affluent part of town. Maybe I didn't go and the instigator and go to the grocery store and verify all of those numbers.
Verify how much a toothbrush
but I'll guarantee you that the 1990 cost is far different than what it is today. We take $10 off there, so say it goes from $20 to $69. It's the point's still the same, right? I'm still making substandard wages. Yeah, it's interesting. What was the minimum wage? Here, oops. Probably don't want to do that, huh? Well, let's just check something real quick here, since we're on it. What was the minimum wage in 1990?
$4.75.
I think it was $3.75.
1990.
Wage in.
You were closer.
$3.85.
I was off by almost $1.
Yeah, $3.85, and today it's $7.25. So let's make the correlation there, right? So basically, well, let's see. So that'd be $7.70, right?
For what?
So if it had doubled, if the price had doubled, minimum wage would be $7.70, and it's $7.15 today. But if you go back to this,
it's $7.15 today.
Isn't $7.15 the minimum wage? I don't know. Let's look at $7.75 maybe.
Date.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Someone will know. Oh, well, that depends on the state, apparently. $7.25. There you go. So it's $7.25. So if you compare minimum wage in that same time frame, right? So it's about double. So that means this $20 should be about $40, right? Yeah, crazy. Let's see here. This leads us back to a discussion about exactly what is a minimum wage. Once it was an entry level wage to get used to employment. Now it's supposed to be a living wage. It's ridiculous. I've told many people the first thing I would do with minimum wage is get rid of it. I don't think it helps in any way. Make companies compete for the best employees. That's what I think. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's 2 hours. What you got? You got any parting words before we get out of here? I could just talk and talk and talk about the civilization.
Mine was going to be like coming together, working together, trying to having the same goals, having the same kind of, vision when it comes to like what we're doing.
People ask me all the time they say, how do you guys get so much done? Because we get a lot done out here. And I think it's helpful that you and I are on the same page. Like we're going to the same place, right?
Yeah,
we know where we're going.
We're not working on the same thing necessarily, not at the same time.
No. And we don't always agree with the best way to get to that endpoint.
Correct.
But we do agree on where we're going.
Yes. And I think that having that, those ideas get you there faster, more peaceful, happily. And two, for those who are single, who don't have somebody necessarily living with them, working side by side on the same goal, that's where community comes into play, right? Being the friend worth having, the wife worth having, the honor your spouse, being.
Well, what does honor the spouse mean from your perspective? How does a wife honor her husband?
Doing everything you want.
I agree with this.
No, not always. You don't always get the things you want, but helping you to get the things you want, but I just drew a total blank.
You want me to tell you what I think? how you honor me?
Yes. Too. Yes.
Okay. So to me, if a wife wants to honor her husband, she'll never talk down about him in public. She won't degrade him in front of her friends.
I even had that written down.
Between her friends and his friends. And, you're always bringing your spouse up. You're never tearing them down in the eye of somebody else. I don't always agree with B, and that we've gotten into plenty of arguments over the course of our life, but I would never do it in public.
Right.
I will come home. I will close the door in our bedroom and I'll say, I didn't like that. And this is why I didn't like it. I'm not going to disrespect you in public. I'm not going to make fun of you in public, and I'm not going to speak poorly of you in public. Yep. The next thing I think that how a wife would honor me is show me that you appreciate my sacrifice of being gone all the time.
Yeah.
When I get up and I got to go to work and I got to be gone all day long and I work hard, come home and show me you appreciate it. Don't complain to me because you wish you had something else.
Yeah. Or you're gone too long.
Or you're gone too long. Don't make it harder. Make my home a refuge. Make it a place where I can come home and relax from, and I can get a release from the craziness of my life. Honor me that way. I don't need the attaboys. I don't need all that stuff. Create a paradise for me when I get home.
Right. Your life.
Mm-hmm. So how do you think a husband would honor a wife?
A lot in the same fashion. I mean, when you had said, to talk up your partner, that I actually had that written down and then was like, the.
Yeah, if you look at your notes,
I know
it goes a long way.
I know, and I did. I actually glanced down at it and then didn't read what I had written down.
If you pick up a comb, you can comb your hair. These are simple things.
That's just things I don't even think about anymore. I also had down being part, doing your part plus a little bit.
Super big.
Being, to know that and then to implement it, because it's easy just to say things. But when you actually do your part plus a little bit, it helps the whole picture. The goals of not just you and I, but the whole reason why we come and we do this, reaching everybody that were total strangers at one point in time, and getting to know them and being that friend to them and that community to them. And then
when I think from a single person's perspective, be a friend worth having.
Yeah, I said that.
Right. At the end of the day, right? If you're willing to do your part plus a little bit, it gets, it's pretty easy. You would get taken advantage of. Yes.
Yes.
I'd be the first to tell you yes, but are you really going to allow someone to change who or what you are? I'm not going to allow that to happen.
No. And, you have said that the entire time I've known you. And at first, it's hard to, when you meet somebody who does the right thing and you're used to saying to do the right thing, because like my mom would always say, don't do as I do as I say. And then it's well, then you're doing wrong, but you want me to do right. And so it's easy to just say what you're supposed to do. But then you meet somebody who does the things that they say they're doing, and they do the thing, like the whole preachy thing. They do the preachy thing, not the preaching, but the action that the preach was about. And so you're like, oh, hey, yeah, you tend to, at least I tend to flock to that, because it's doing the right thing isn't always easy.
It's never easy.
And it's not always the most popular thing. And actually is sometimes quite difficult to do. But when you just do the right thing, it makes you a person of honor, somebody to be around, and an honorable person. I think that, back in, there's been times in our life when I would say something about somebody and you're like, don't say that about them, for whatever reason. And it was like, gosh, wow, you're absolutely right. Just to change that mindset of being that honorable person, that, I don't want to say better, because it's not, you're not better. I don't know where I'm going with that. Just talking, I guess. the right thing.
Well, doing the right thing's hard, but I also think it's empowering in a lot of ways. It makes it to where the devil can't get you quite as easy. When you take the easy way out. Me and B, I told B early in our relationship, I told her, don't let go of the little things, because as soon as you let go of the little things, it makes the harder things easier to let go of. Right. And so the little things, I'm talking about the little stuff, the things that brought you two together in the beginning. right? The little things when, B would put toothpaste on my toothbrush, just the silliest little things, because as you begin to back off of those things, then it becomes okay to back off the bigger things. And then you wake up one day and you wonder why there's no connection. You wonder what happened in there. And it's because we let go of those little things. So I think I would add that to the list, which is keep a hold of the little things, that it matters. B is real big on me telling her where I'm at. And between me and you guys, I think it's dumb. I don't see why she needs to know where I'm at 24 hours a day or when I go one place to the other. But you know what? At the end of the day, who cares? If it makes her feel safe and it makes her feel secure, it's really not that big of an inconvenience for me. I'll still tell you it's stupid. But if it makes you feel better, it's fine. It's really not.
Yep.
It's really not that big a deal.
Yep.
Let me see here. Take the Ride. How's it going? Says, I've been following this fitness guy, Wes Watson. He talks about how he built himself to be the man he always needed, then give that man to the world to lift up others. That's good. Well said. Yep. 2 working together gets twice as much done. Alone is hard. I know it's hard. And I have a lot of friends and a lot of you guys who are listening to this tonight are single. This is why community matters. And this is why you got to get out there and have some community until the significant other part at least changes, right? But just be a friend worth having. Go the extra mile. Yeah, it's inconvenient. So what?
Mm-hmm.
Go help somebody out, even though you don't have time for this today. Guys, I'm telling you, it happens to me every single week.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, every single week. But make the time, be the best you can be. And, I think it'll work out okay. But
yeah,
I think,
and you do, just like it is proven to us time and time again, when we're like, how in the heck is this? Are we going to pull this off? How in the heck is this going to happen? How in the heck are we going to accomplish this? Whether it be water in the front door or a farm. I remember when even just the farm was like, there's no way we're going to buy a farm, and we're going to live in the dark and all of that. There's like crazy noises out there,
Where do you feel safer now?
Actually in the dark.
Isn't that crazy?
Which is so crazy because I lived in the city and there was like a glow even with all the lights off, and now there's a glow even when the lights are off because the moon
is so much brighter.
Like reflects off of the things that are around you, and you don't notice that when you're amongst all the lights.
Yeah. Karen says, my newest friends are givers, which makes me want to give more too. That's a whole nother good thing. Surround yourself with people who make you better. If they don't make you better, get rid of them. I promise that's good advice.
Yeah, that was part of my when you're doing the right thing, right? And you're with those people and you're flocking to those kinds of people who do what they say and they say what they mean and they are positive and they're happy and they're, we all have suck. We all have windows that break and seeds that spoil and, meat that's too tough and should have did this different. And we all have those, but
some days we're at the end of our rope and some days we're at the beginning.
Ooh. Yeah, and someday those ropes are all like frazzled and you can't get it back in the hole.
What's the difference between the two? Anyway.
Yeah.
You ready?
Be a friend worth having.
Circle back time. If they don't make you better, get rid of them. What was the first topic tonight? Accept everyone or something like that? That's a great point. What I mean by get rid of them, but I don't mean don't talk to them. I don't mean all of that stuff. I'm talking about your confidants in your life for people that make you better. And I'm going to argue right back at you, Hippocrates, that by you challenging the way that I think, you are making me better. And by having those open discussions, we are getting better. By you telling me that you're right and you're the only one that knows the way and 100% right, you're not making me better. Right? So I'll argue that right back at you. No problem. Zero problem.
He's a pretty smart fella.
He's a smart fella. And I like it. I like the challenge and keep challenging me. And I'm going to keep doing the same thing. But hopefully we can all get along and not let them divide us anymore, because I'm going to tell you guys, I'm tired of it. And make sure, as the thumbnails did at the beginning coming into this, that you enter the apocalypse with your partner. Right? You be the friend that you're supposed to be, and you be a friend worth having, and you be a wife who honors her husband and a husband who honors her wife. Right? You make sure you do those things, because if your own house is in order and if you're solid here, you'll get so much more done. You'll get so much more accomplished done, all by living that way and never give in on the little things. Right.
Be respectful of each other.
Yeah. So until we do it again.
Go live a life done free.
And
Hold the line.
and
Don't give an inch.
see you guys.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.